Good evening, Adirondack Rick. I'm doing pretty good. As far as these runners are concerned, we have RidleyDragon. He's been playing Randomizer for about 10 months now. Has done a lot of commentary in the past for Link to the Past Randomizer, so he has definitely a lot of routing knowledge behind him just in terms of what he's watched. And we have someone325. Been only playing for 6 months, but has participated in the Key Sandy tournament, which happened in the past few months. Was able to get a 4-2 record in the Swiss stage, so he is definitely very familiar with Link to the Past Randomizer.
Absolutely. And so we are already off, and we got 10 arrows inside of the chest over at Link's house. So what do you think we're going to get from the Uncle Slim?
Let's see. I'm going to go with the bow. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, we get the bow.
That's why you get the 10 arrows.
Yeah, I guess so. When you get 10 arrows, that's clearly points to you're getting the bow. That's what we'll say for this.
All right, so this is going to be an archery escape for both of these runners. We'll see if they can't get themselves some bombs, rather, whatever that B word that I'm looking for. Speaking of B words, someone is playing as Boo. RidleyDragon is playing as Sonic.
That's right. They are going to be looking for bombs, and thankfully, with the bow, finding bombs or at least checking for bombs shouldn't be too much of an issue. A lot of the enemies in the Hyrule Castle escape will go down to 1 arrow shot, and both of our runners do have 30 arrows to work with, so there are plenty of chances for them to check. And honestly, getting through escape is probably the fastest with the bow, just because of how quick you can use it, how deadly it is, and just very, very efficient for getting these kills in these rooms.
Yeah, easier to use this instead of the bomb strats we have to see some of our runners do during the course of this escape portion. 20 rupees inside the map chest as we make our way over towards the next required guard kill.
That is correct, and one thing I'm actually very interested in is when you get the bow after finishing escape, that does actually open up an interesting option, because with the bow you could go over straight to Eastern Palace and potentially full clear it if you have the drive to do so. So it'll be interesting to see if any of our runners do that. Some may opt not to do that just because they don't know if it's going to be a crystal or pendant yet, and there's always a possibility for going back to it later with the mirror, so you can do kind of a Eastern Palace, Palace of Darkness combo. But that is an interesting option they have on the table.
Well, that also plus the fact that it's also going to maybe possibly out of logic because you need the lamp by logic to be Eastern.
That is true. Although, yeah. So
4 wood arrows kills the ball and chain guard. Someone first to Zelda 254.
And that's a pretty fast time to get Zelda. Like I said, yeah, the bow is probably one of the fastest weapons to get out of escape with. Just a lot of things go down quickly. You can do it from a distance, and it's just really, really nice to have.
I disagree with the person in chat that's saying that the swag duck should be Knuckles instead. What about Tails?
Yeah, I think Tails makes a little more sense. Tails can fly. That's what he does.
And Tails is the one who flew Sonic around in Sonic 2.
Exactly. Someone asking about the Fire Rod. Yes, the Fire Rod is quick as well. The problem with Fire Rod is that after you kill an enemy with it, it will kind of linger on screen for a while. So in the case of like the ball and chain guard, it'll take a while for that big key to drop. So arrow is still technically faster.
So as we make our way through the remaining portion of escape, we're going to probably see both of these runners attack the ropes and rats downstairs in hopes of finding a bomb, because neither of these runners have found a bomb at all, and you kind of want to get them so you don't have to backtrack here later. We see RidleyDragon doing the same strat over here in this room, trying to kill some extra guards. We haven't seen any bomb-dropping enemies just yet.
Nope, not yet. Gonna farm a few more. Nope, still no bombs.
So just real briefly about both of these runners. Someone beat Glenty in week 1, but lost to Farami last week. And, oh, there's our bomb drop for someone. The ropes are dropping them. RidleyDragon beat Bacon in week 1, but lost to Sigmagan in week number 2.
So yeah, for Lee, aims his bow for some of those ropes in the second room. May get lucky enough to get that same 8 bomb drop that someone did. And 8's honestly a good drop to get, because that will cover you not just for the escape, but also for the first few checks of Light World as well.
So it looks like right now we're playing archery with the rat that has the key. Someone has just a small amount of trouble, but gets it taken care of now. And RidleyDragon good gets the 8 drop off the ropes as well. So the back 3 of escape, both of these runners are going to be able to check it. Let's see what we have inside. Slim, what do we got?
We got a red rupee, another red rupee, and more bombs.
Yay! Spend a bomb, get 2 profit back.
And some rupees too. That'll be nice for Kakariko when we get there. So
yeah, already at 122 rupees, so they already got what they need to get to the bottle vendor.
Mm-hmm. Now they can start saving up for Zora, Palace of Darkness, and all the other expenses they might need to use in this seed.
RidleyDragon have a little more issue with this rat. He's lost this rat. He's down to 7 arrows, but hopefully he can get this rat taken care of now. There he goes. Tease it up. We're all good. By the way, more rupees at Sanctuary chest. And that puts someone at 172 rupees as we make our way over to Kakariko Village.
Now, thankfully, both of our runners will not have to worry about the unfortunate incident of running out of ammo or magic in escape, since they are past all the required kill enemies now. But thankfully, the developers have made it so if you do happen to run out of ammo or anything like that, you can just do a nice little save and quit, and you'll go back to a prior checkpoint with all your ammo restored. So, nice way to kind of get that through. Got a piece of heart in the forest along with 50 rupees in the Thieves' Hideout here.
Thieves' Hideout paying out 50 rupees. So if we weren't sitting at 10 bombs, that would have been maybe a possible another purchase to make. 7 arrows is not going to be a lot if you're going to go to mini Moldworm, but hopefully you'll get a better weapon to have when we get to Kakariko Village. Shout outs to our tracker, Cyclone GU, who's running things behind the scenes.
Clicking all those buttons to make sure that we know what all of our runners have at all the different points of the run. So we do appreciate having that on board. As we get into the Lion's Hideout check, 5 chests in here, 4 in here, 1 in the back. We got some red rupees, a heart container.
Oh, nice. The crab is dropping 10 arrows, so that's going to help Ridley restock. Also, the tree pole of the 3rd tier turns out to be, magic powder at the lumberjack. We get the flute as well. The 8 bombs were the tier 3 pole on the tree, by the way.
Okay, cool. That's honestly, those are some good. This is why it is good to kind of check all the tree poles, check the bush crab, because yeah, you may get some very valuable ammo here, especially with this bow start. Looks like we got the blue pendant at Hera, the green pendant at Eastern, and a crystal at Desert Palace. Not 5 or 6, but just a crystal. And in the well, we have another heart container. In the back here, we have 50 more rupees.
And that magic powder is going to be an anxiety, but there is a skip around. We do get the hook shot, which is a nice find. 300 rupees, why not?
And a bomb capacity upgrade. So yeah, Zora is essentially taken care of. Pretty much Palace of Darkness would be taken care of as well. So looking pretty good on money for the rest of the seed. From the bottle vendor, just a heart container, and we are going to activate that flute now.
Yep. As RidleyDragon making his way out of the Lost Woods, makes his way to Village, he'll be cleaning up the same things that we saw someone do about a minute or so ago.
Definitely. And with, again, as we mentioned before, that powder on the lumberjack tree, I gotta say, this is a seed where knowing the fake powder glitch could actually be very, very helpful.
Yep, absolutely. We'll talk about that coming up later, because this powder is going to linger up until go mode.
That is true. We have plenty of time to talk about it. We do get a bottle of B inside the chicken house here.
Really nice place to find it, just right next door to where the sick kid is, so you can check him while you're here in town.
Not sure how he feels about a bee being released inside of his house, but he'll give us 20 rupees anyway.
Next question is if that's a good bee or a regular bee, because if it's a good bee, that's not a lot of rupees compared to what the bottle vendor gives you for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we have one lingering location already. Will we have another one here in the library? Nope. Well, if they really want the boomerang, they can come and get it, but I don't foresee that being necessary.
Why not? Why wouldn't you want the boomerang?
I don't know. We have the bow already. We could use that just in case, and just some bombs here on the race game.
I thought the boomerang was the most superior weapon out there.
And it's nice for stunning enemies when you have it, but I wouldn't say it's really required by any sense. So.
Oh, fine. Be that way. I see how you are.
Hey, when I'm going through a seed, I want to make sure I get all the required items first before I start getting other items. That's just the way I roll.
Just turn out that the desert is one of the 5-6. It turns out to be Crystal 5.
Okay, my mistake earlier then, but, you know, that is still a crystal. We need to collect all 7 of those for Ganon's Tower to get access to there, so they will be going there regardless.
But that does also mean that we are guaranteed that a medallion is going to be required because we already have 2 of the 3 pendants here in the light world. So it's guaranteed you're going to have to deal with either Mire or Turtle Rock in this seed.
That is correct. Got another very high volume location right here in Mini Moldorm Cave. Just a bomb capacity upgrade, the mirror, a heart container, 10 bombs, and another red rupee.
Yeah, that mirror. Nice find at this point. Obviously, doesn't have a full benefit of use for these runners at this stage in the run. Someone is going to be heading over towards the Ice Rod Cave. Ridley's finishing up in Kakariko Village. Just a few extra checks here for Ridley, and a little issues with the bow early on has caused this little bit of a separation between these 2 runners.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's still early. They still got to get through all these other kind of checks before anything too substantial happens here. But yeah, I did lose a little bit of time kind of looking through those guards for bombs.
So Ridley flutes off to number 7. Let's see what we have in the swamp. Well, we already know it's in the swamp from what someone picked up. Someone loads up the flute. I think it's time to head back to the home and head east over towards Sarashula and Eastern Palace.
Or we do have the hook shot, Rick, so we could go to Death Mountain and potentially find some stuff up here too.
Well, that is a correct assumption here, apparently, for you, as someone does head up to Death Mountain. There is something called chest density. Someone's chasing after it because there's a lot more chests you can pick up here in Death Mountain than you can via the other route. Now, Hera, you can get inside at this point. However, oh, someone had issues. Someone had issue there in that room. He did get hit with that the floor, the one little opening in the floor near where you go left to get to the old man. So he opts to surrender out of this right now.
It's an understandable play. Sometimes, even though the hook shot can kind of give you an idea of where you are in that room, it is definitely harder to get through it without a sword upgrade of some kind. So it's understandable to make a play like that.
We find a red goo in a bottle on top of Spectacle Rock. Inside, we get a heart container. Probably of anything, someone would be more interested in the red goo in a bottle, but he's not going to make anything special to try to get it. He's just going to probably grab it when he mirrors here.
Mm-hmm.
And what in the world is that supposed to be for the non-moon pearled boo?
That is actually a fuzzy enemy. You see them in Super Mario World. You can also see them in they're very famous in the Paper Mario games as well for being just kind of very comical enemies.
Someone taking the death here, that was on purpose, as down to 1 heart. You might as well take the death at this point, but we don't know if Hera is beatable at this point. This next chest will tell us.
Ooh,
it is not beatable. You need a light device, either the lamp or the fire rod, in order to activate and get the big key.
It is kind of funny though. Both of the sprites our runners are using. The bunny sprite for their sprite is actually a Super Mario World sprite, because Boo has Fuzzy and then Sonic turns into the Super Mario World Mario.
The devs work hard at taking care of these things, and it's awesome to see. As RidleyDragon's about to get that unfortunate news as well, as someone is in the Paradox Cave. We have 7 items to find here.
Gonna be looking for that Dark World access, I imagine. Gets the Quake Medallion instead, but we still have 5 more chests on the upper floor.
And we get a piece of heart. We get 300 rupees, 10 arrows. Actually, it was something that someone liked to see at that point. There's our Moon Pearl and an 10 arrow upgrade, and the most annoying mini Moldorm ever that decides it wants to float over your head.
Mm-hmm. So the interesting thing is, and you mentioned this earlier, that at this point, yeah, it looks like Sasrala and Eastern area is the next high volume location for items, and it very well could be where the rest of our Dark World access is at this point. We are actually closer to Dark World access than having to go through Aghanim's Tower for our continuation here.
Yep. At this point, we are still 2 items away from Dark World access. Whether it be the 2 glove upgrades, the glove plus the mitts. There's the boots on that island. That's good to know. But when are we going to have that Dark World access that's going to allow us to pick up those boots?
Yeah, we'll need both glove upgrades to even get to that at this point, so who knows?
Chad asking, what are those? Those are boots.
You run fast with them.
And RidleyDragon would love to gotta go fast. Turns out to be a blue rupee there, so nothing. The Moon Pearl is nice to find, but at this point, it doesn't move the seat along.
It does not, and I'm almost wondering if that shovel they got in Tower of Hera could be, I mean, at least it could potentially give one of the items we need. We might find the other one over here in the Eastern Palace area.
You're correct.
But if Ridley, for example, does take that check over to the shovel spot, could gain a bit of time back that he lost in the escape portion.
RidleyDragon is not leaving. He's going to flute away. Let's see what we have inside the back 3 of Sarashala's hut. And we find bombs. There's glove and a blue mail. RidleyDragon going to check what we have over at the Ice Rod Cave.
Okay, so we are up to 2 of our Dark World items. Still need to find the hammer.
Either the hammer or the Titan's mitt.
Oh, that's true. Yep, we could use the other upgrade too, the other glove upgrade.
And if the Titan's mitt is here in Eastern, that means the optimal path would have been to go to Agena, or not Agena, but over to Sarashla, into Eastern, and then up to the mountain, because at that point, then you could claim your boots.
That is true. It's just so hard to make that call, because I can understand people wanting to kind of hold off on Eastern just because it is definitely gives more value to the dungeon when you can come back later with a Palace of Darkness access, and we do have the mirror, so that'd make that a very quick, easy 2 dungeon checks right off the bat. Sometimes the seed will, the seed's not very clear where it wants you to go, and you kind of have to just kind of figure out what you need to do with the items you find when you get them. Now Ridley is doing a bit of a sequence break right here, kind of checking these flipper blocked items using a technique called fake flippers, and as we'll see in a moment here, the water walk and the waterfall fairy. We get the other glove upgrade.
Interesting game. So we sequence broke ourselves to that. Now Zora is not a sequence break.
Yes, Zora itself's not.
RidleyDragon doesn't know it, but the gloves that is at... Oh, you just missed out on that fireball. Anyways, though, having the glove over there at Sarashala's hut makes this not a sequence break. RidleyDragon doesn't know it at this point. Wouldn't it be something if Zora drops the flipper slim?
That would be a thing. That'd be a very funny thing that happened. Let's see.
It is a fairy in a bottle.
That's not going to help him swim, but it will give him a revive if he does happen to die anytime at the sea.
So, you know what this means? Agina's got something. Or the shovel. Either or.
And looks like Ridley is going to be checking that shovel spot now, so we'll see if this is where the progression is going to end up being. It's got to be either flippers or the hammer at one of these next 2 locations. Get the fire rod.
Yeah, the fire rod being an Eastern, that's a nice find.
Another sequence break too, technically, by the logic.
Okay, what do we got here? A piece of heart. Agina's got something.
Meanwhile, someone, because he did pick up that fire rod, gonna actually use the fire rod right here to see in this one dark room. This is an easy way to get through this dark room if you're not familiar with it. You can just light the torch over there and find the enemies you need to destroy to get that last key.
Ain't told by Chad. Now confirm it when you get to someone's menu that apparently the hammer was an Eastern as well.
Ooh, okay. I did not see that because we were getting a little distracted by the stuff Ridley was finding.
Well, that's what happens here as Ridley goes to Agina. So this isn't guaranteed to be progression. It's just 10 arrows. Solid archery skills. So Eastern, the play. So now that also means that the flippers could be somewhere in the dark world.
That's true. That is very true. Oh, we also have the green pendant. That's right, we have the green pendant too, so someone can also turn that in and see what we get from that.
So we're 23 minutes in, 24 minutes into this race. RidleyDragon's about to find the Titansmith. Does he go into Eastern?
Going into Eastern would definitely help him out. I'm not going to lie there, because that will give him the hammer, and that's a very important item in the Dark World to get.
And the Ether Medallion from Sarashala. That is interesting.
Yeah, we don't know if that's required yet, and that very well could be one of the medallions we need for either Turtle Rock or Misery Mire.
As Link is going to go home, he's going to head on over to the Dark World now. And RidleyDragon is fluting away. He's going up to Death Mountain because he knows what's on that ledge there on the island. And those boots got to go fast.
I'm really interested in this race divergence right now. It's just really we got a map check here.
Yes, we do. The other pendant turns out to be Skull Woods, and the other crystal that is required in the 5-6 combo turns out to be Swamp.
Okay, so both Mire and Turtle Rock are going to be required in this seed, so that Ether Medallion could come into play. What do we got in Hype Cave? We get our first sword upgrade from the Generous Thief in there.
And we get ourselves a heart container, a piece of heart, a mushroom, and 300 rupees. Do you want a fetch quest, Slim?
Not particularly, but that specific fetch quest item could come into play for fake powdering if they want to skip a certain powder upgrade.
Remember, the magic powder turns is in the lumberjack tree. That could come into play. There's the first sword for RidleyDragon and a heart container for him. So his second sword will turn out to be when we get over to the Hype Cave.
Meanwhile, someone going to check out the Pyramid of Power to see what the item is resting on the side of the pyramid.
I was going to say, I would have been surprised if Ridley did not check Turtle Rock to see what medallion is required. And we get bombs on the Pyramid of Power ledge, and it is Ether for Turtle Rock.
Green pendant required to turn into Sasharala.
All right, Hookshot K for Ridley is a sequence break. It yields 20 rupees. It yields a heart container. It results in a pitfall. For another heart container. And a blue rupee. Now, RidleyDragon's not coming here to pick up those 4 chests. Well, yeah, he is, but what he wants more than anything else is on the other side of this cave.
He wants to go fast. You might be thinking, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog right now. Speed is my greatest advantage. I need to grab those boots.
So RidleyDragon picking up his boots, and this will allow him to run through the whole world a whole lot faster. So we already know, based on the compass in that first chest here in the Palace of Darkness, that the bow was required for the mimics, or for the mimic room. No problem. That was our first item. Surprised RidleyDragon didn't beeline it for King's Tomb. Maybe he'll check that next.
Possibly.
There's the blue cane. Not the cane we're looking for.
I would say he could check out Spike Cave, but he actually does not have the hammer yet, so he could not do that.
So RidleyDragon heading over to the Dark World. There's the red cane. Fake powder, anyone?
Yeah, I don't think someone actually knows what's in the lumberjack tree. I think it was Ridley who looked at it, so if someone does make it over there and check that, that could be something he's thinking, well, let me just use this glitch so I don't have to worry about getting that item.
We have a piece of heart in the chest game. So, now that we're bringing it up because someone has the cane of Samara, you want to talk about the fake powder glitch?
Sure, I'll go ahead and do it. Basically, the fake powder is a glitch you can use where if you run out of magic while using the Cane of Somaria, and you hear that little sound when you run out of magic and use it. If you very quickly swap to the mushroom, and it even works with powder too, because it's occupying that same slot. But if you use it right after you switch to it, it'll actually act like you do have magic, and it will allow you to essentially use the powder without actually having it. And by that logic, we could use it to check the magic bat item.
Red goo found in the bombable. It looks like RidleyDragon's getting ready to head into Thieves Town, which could get interesting if there's an item in that chest, the big chest. We do get for our first item. It is a piece of heart, so nothing good in the first of the 4 items that are in Thieves Town. And we know, based on what we've seen so far, it's less likely that the lamp is going to be here in the Palace of Darkness unless it's in that one last chest. I'm surprised that someone hadn't switched over to the fire rod for this room, but it looks like he's doing it pretty well.
Yeah, the U room is not too bad to do without a lamp, as long as you remember that the chests are kind of against the walls, so it's not a terrible dark room to get through.
Find the big key. I'm taking a look. I think we're only 1 out of 3 for items. That's 2 out of 4. There's the flippers that gets RidleyDragon into sequence.
That's right, because he did not have those. He was technically out of sequence because he used fake flippers to get the Titan's myth that he has, but now with those flippers, he is right back in the logic.
By the way, it does look like someone picked up the book if I'm reading chat correctly. Don't know what that item was.
And again, I've stated this before, and I'll state it again. This is a very, very interesting race already, just due to what both of our runners have found in their own separate paths here, have really just led them in 2 completely different directions.
Yeah, but there's a confirmation right there that someone does have the book.
Meanwhile, Ridley rushing all the way to this attic room in Thieves Town, going to blow up the floor here to get sunlight to go in the room below, and finds, unfortunately, just the compass up here.
Now, you notice that 0 key there for RidleyDragon?
I do. Yes, I do notice that key. Or lack of key, therefore.
Well, here's the thing. Remember, he does not have the hammer for this dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
The key is still at large. If this next chest is anything but a key, we know that RidleyDragon can get all 4 items out of here.
That is true, due to a recent change in version 28 of the logic. Small keys and big keys can be locked beyond what they normally block, just because in that case, if it's locked beyond, it's not going to be a soft lock. You can still get through the rest of the dungeon. The only caveat is if it's a big key, for example, the big key needs to be for a dungeon that you don't need it to complete it.
That's not what RidleyDragon wanted to see.
And unfortunately, as we can see here, Ridley did find the key, which means the small key is not in the big chest. But that also means there's going to be an item left behind.
Well, gardeners like to spring into action. As RidleyDragon here. He looks like he's getting ready to go to the Cane of Burn in case he needs it against blind.
Yeah, even though it does lag the game a little bit, better safe than sorry. You don't want to have to die and then come back to the fight to do it over again.
Having good back and forth with the chat at this point, because apparently I'm forgetting one thing that RidleyDragon does not have, and that is true Dark World access. Remember, he doesn't have the hammer.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
And hammer is how you're supposed to get into the Dark World to make your way over to Thieves Town to pick up the flippers. So now that we've got all of that squared away, once RidleyDragon has the hammer, he'll be fully in logic. However, for him having the Titans-Mitt, he's somewhat in logic.
Yes. He's in commentator's logic, because we know where the hammer is.
Yep, he is. The only problem is that he's doing the sequence, and he doesn't have the hammer to get the pegs, and I missed what blind was dropping because of the exchange. But someone's heading to the Dark World now will soon have a choice, because remember, he's got the Fire Rod, which is a sequence break for him. He can beat Skull Woods, even though it is a pendant.
Unfortunately, while it was really good that Ridley did kind of get the Titans mitts early from his sequence break, just not having that hammer is definitely going to be kind of messing, I think, a little bit with the rest of his routing here, just because there are a lot of places where you need the hammer to open up certain places. And again, that last chest in Thieves Town, going to be consuming them for a while as well, so... You know, it's kind of one of those things. Sequence breaks can lead to good things, but it can also lead to some confusion here and there as well.
So RidleyDragon going into King's Tomb, that was a place that he skipped earlier, but it was because he wanted to lump it together with the North Dark World check at this point, and it only has 20 rupees. That's a nice hook shot across the spikes there for someone. So the interesting part is to find out whether or not the Fire Rod is actually blocking something. And it does look like, based on what we've seen, I have not seen a single item in this dungeon yet, that we currently have some sort of block. Yep. It is guaranteed that at least one of the items here in Skull Woods is going to be behind the Fire Rod.
We'll have to see what it does lead to. With that Cane of Samaria, though, someone is going to have an easier time getting through this room. Don't have to move that statue. All you have to do is just lay this nice little Cane of Samaria block down and then just go right through this door.
So inside of this chest, we have a 5-arrow upgrade. So nothing good here, but remember, there is one item that is currently behind logic. Or behind the Fire Rod, which of course is a sequence break for someone. Now here's another thing. Someone's going to be able to check the pedestal.
That is true. And honestly, all the pendants aren't too far out of the way at this point. I mean, it has the Fire Rod to complete Skullwoods, Tower of Hera, technically accessible for him now as well, so...
Okay, let's see what we have. We have the Cold Rod. We have a pedestal required seed for the Ice Rod. Buckle up, kids. We're going to be here till 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I think we will, because they're going to be needing to get through all the dungeons just so they can get that Ice Rod to complete the final boss of Turtle Rock.
That's 2 pedestal required seeds for me now. In this tournament, after going into Key Sanity, I had none. Or I had 1 in the open, never mind. Anyways, so someone thankfully will have enough magic to complete this room. I was starting to worry that he wasn't going to, but we're going to set ourselves up for quite the fight against Mothula.
Yeah, it'll be a fight for sure. Not a lot of magic and fighter sword. Have fun, someone.
Yeah, don't worry. Last time we saw somebody do fighter sword Mothula, they killed it quite nicely, if I remember correctly.
Well, I'm sure many of these runners are well trained for this scenario, but that still doesn't make it any less annoying.
Pulls out the hammer in case he gets the opportunity to squish the bug. RidleyDragon is at the entrance to the Palace of Darkness, but also is at the entrance. Oh, nice kill for someone. RidleyDragon's going into Eastern.
So yeah, someone gets his second pendant, second required pendant in this particular seed, and Ridley is going to be getting his hammer shortly, so he'll fully be in the logic at that point and have all the items he needs to get through quite a bit of Dark World. So things are definitely shaping up for our runners right now.
You know what, though?
What is
Someone does not know this at this point, but depending on what is required to get into Misery Mire, someone could be going into go mode soon because of knowing that the ice rod is on the pedestal.
That is true. Yeah, that is very, very true.
There's the hammer pickup for RidleyDragon.
Yeah, at this point, someone just needs the ice rod and a better sword upgrade. And again, if Bombos is somehow required for Mire, that's all that they need. They need the flippers too, but they'll get the flippers when they go through Thieves Town, so that's not too far out of the way.
By the way, we got another sword at the back of Skull Woods there, in that one final chest.
Okay, there we go. Well, that's the sword upgrade crossed off the to-go mode list.
Arrow upgrade up there on top of the mountain. And in fact, at this point, someone, if he starts playing the cards right, may be able to pull the sequence together and get himself the flippers and the boots real soon, as well as the Titansmith. Like I said, there's a good possibility that someone could be nearing go mode in about 10 minutes from now.
That's right, and that's a lot of dungeons they get to full clear. Or not full clear, go mode, sorry. But yeah, a lot of dungeons they can just breeze through very, very quickly.
I'm surprised that Ridley, of all the sequence breaks that he's done so far, he's not opting to go further into the dark portion of that Eastern Palace because he's not getting the Fire Rod.
Mm-hmm. Could be thinking I've sequence break this seed enough by getting the mitts from Waterfall. Maybe I shouldn't try to overdo it with another one.
This is the story of a bunch of sequence breaks, and until we find the lamp, we don't know when we even get ourselves as commentators back in Logic, because the Fire Rod is a sequence break because of the lamp thing.
Exactly. Again, the logic that these seeds, or these runners, have been going for in this seed, or rather skipping logic, has really kind of thrown us through a loop. Because, yeah, just, again, both runners have taken such different paths and know different information. So it's hard to really even pinpoint, like, what these runners are even thinking right now.
And when we say this stuff about the logic, any of the things that you see these runners doing, like fake flippers or going through dark rooms, the game will never require you to use those tricks to beat the game. The logic that we speak of says you need to have X item in order to get Y item. If you don't have X item, then you're not supposed to get that item. But obviously sequence breaks do allow certain runners to do that, to pull that move off.
Yeah, it's basically a case of, well, if you don't have flippers, you can fake flipper, but flippers will never be found by fake flippering. It's a minor glitch, so you can do it. It's legal to do in these runs, but you just got to understand that, okay, I'm not going to get that specific item or any items beyond this from this. So it's kind of something you need to kind of keep in mind when doing these races, just in case you have a chance to pinpoint where a certain item could be that you may need later.
Just to comment to somebody saying in chat that lamp could be in Turtle Rock, we know that it can't be, because the Ether Medallion to get inside was the reward for getting the green pen out of Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
So this is big news here for someone to know about this. We just need for them to be able to blitz through the seed. They need to be able to piece together the remainder of the chain and also find out what medallion is required to get into Misery Mire, because that is right now the question mark.
Yes, it is definitely a huge question mark, and it is something Ridley could find out for us once he's done here, because he does have the access for the Mire area.
And it looks like RidleyDragon is not comfortable doing dark rooms at this point. So he's opting to leave the Palace of Darkness as well. So he's leaving behind the Fire Rod. He's leaving behind the remainder of the things that we have seen inside the Palace of Darkness. But at this point, RidleyDragon is now back in Logic.
Yes, he is. Yeah, because he hasn't been doing dark rooms. So yeah, he is in Logic completely. Unlike someone.
And it's just a piece of heart inside the big chest. So nothing major in there.
Unfortunately, though, that is still going to be on Ridley's mind as he goes through this seed. So even though we know that it's nothing, Ridley still might go back there at some point to check and see if there is something remaining in that last chest.
And we know that the magic bag can't have the lamp because of where the magic powder is supposed to be.
Yep, it's locked behind Aghanim's tower, which requires the lamp, so that's not going to be there.
So let's see how someone's fight against Blind goes. If you do this the right way, it can be completely scripted. Having a little issue on the second phase, getting over here to the third, may want to consider switching over to some sort of health. There we go. We put ourselves the red potion. RidleyDragon going into Swamp. RidleyDragon doesn't know this, but this is a good decision at this point. Because remember, RidleyDragon does not know that this is a pedestal required seed. So RidleyDragon going into Swamp. 6 items in here.
Whenever a runner enters Swamp, they're always kind of wondering, well, do I go in here to get those 6 items, or do I wait to potentially go mode this dungeon later when it's a very, very quick clear? So it's always a debate whether or not to go in here or not. And there's the Tempered Sword. All 4 sword upgrades have been found.
That's nice to know. And where RidleyDragon is, the lamp can very well be here. But it also can be where someone is right now at the digging game. We didn't see this earlier, but it's just a piece of heart.
This is going to be fun, trying to remember all the different locations that each of our runners have checked because of just the different routing that's gone for both of them.
This is such a wild routing divergence as someone's going to go ahead and check Stumpy. Which I learned, if you talk to him after you get his item, it takes a while. because he's one of those that, like the bumper up on Death Mountain, doesn't shut up that fast.
Mm-hmm. I always find it comical that the randomizer developers seem to, whenever they add text to an NPC, it sometimes goes on longer than what it initially goes on for in the vanilla game.
Find 100 rupees in the room south of the big chest here in Swamp. We do know that Ridley's going to be full clearing this thing. 1, looking for the fire rod. 2, doesn't know about the ice rod. 3, by the looks of things, what we've seen from RidleyDragon in the early part of this run is looking for the lamp.
Yep, and lamp could very well be here. So, gonna be keeping his eye out.
Now, someone is heading for Swamp as well. And I don't know how much someone wants to invest into this dungeon, if he just goes blitzing over towards Argus or not, or if he's going to check these left side chests. Because what's going through someone's mind at this point could be, I'm pretty much, you know, maybe 66% in go mode at this point, unless the boots are required. But didn't someone find the boots earlier? Oh no, someone's still looking for the Titansmith too. Never mind.
Oh yeah, that's right. Someone still doesn't have the Titansmith. That's gonna need, and thankfully someone does have the item required for that other Mitt upgrade. Could potentially check that after this. Get their tempered sword though, which that's a good feeling to get that, since you do not know if you're going to be getting those silvers or not at this point.
Also, to answer chat, Ridley did not drown the key. He does have that one key into his arsenal at this point, so he did not end up drowning the key. He did just kind of just flub the way he was supposed to go in that dungeon. So we have the left side. 20 rupees on the first chest here on the left. What have we got on the right-hand side? Is this anything to be required? Oh, it's the red boomerang. Do you think they're going to go to the library and pick up that boomerang now?
I sure hope not. I am just not a fan of that boomerang. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You only have to apologize to the boomerang. We had a high five in that room.
Yeah, we did have a bit of a sync. Both runners were in the same place at the exact same time. Unfortunately, though, checking different things, so not going to be following that sync, but still, it's cool to see that they're kind of still close to each other at a huge divergence.
So someone is going to have to check the left-hand side, because remember, he's still in search of the Titansmith, and that is the big thing that's eluding him at this point. Both wouldn't mind if they found the lamp. I know RidleyDragon, just based on his conduct inside the Palace of Darkness as well as inside Eastern, really wants that lamp himself.
Yeah, and Ridley could be looking at his tracker right now, seeing that, okay, Palace of Darkness, Misery Mire, and Turtle Rock are all crystals. I'm going to have to go through those dark rooms. Some of those dark rooms are really difficult. I want to get that lamp.
And the thing with the lamp is that it could easily be in a trolley location. Like, there's nothing that says that the lamp has to be easily accessible to these runners.
Yep, as long as it's accessible before a dark room is required, you can get that lamp anywhere.
Like, for example, if Quake is the medallion required to get into Misery Mire, it could very well be in the big key chest.
It could very well be on Argus here in a minute for Ridley.
It could be at Argus.
There is a possibility, and I only say a possibility, that it could even be in... actually, no, I meant to say the opposite. It may not be an Ice Palace, assuming we don't find Bombos anywhere. So at least we can kind of narrow it down where it could end up being.
So really facing off against this Argus. This should be an easy fight here. Spin him a couple of times. He will go dead. And what does he give us? He gives us the silver arrows.
So both of our runners will not be really fretting that end game too much against Ganon, that's for sure.
Yeah, with the very least tempered. But we know that someone's going to get the Butter Sword at some point, because he's still got to go up to East Death Mountain, or the Dark Death Mountain. The East Dark Death Mountain. Say that 10 times fast. So we know he's going to get it at some point.
Ridley will probably end up getting it just because, I mean, he doesn't know that yet, because we know that all the pendant dungeons will be required, but should run into that buttered sword, I imagine, in Skullwoods.
I am really curious at this point where this so-called lamp could be. What are our 5-6 crystals again?
Desert Palace and Swamp Palace.
Could be at the Pyramid Fairy.
That's true. Oh,
no,
wait.
It can't.
No,
it can't. No,
yeah,
can't.
no,
Yep,
it can't.
it can't. Yep, desert.
Yeah, desert.
You need something to light those torches. Never mind. That is out.
Yeah, that's right. Man, this seed.
We know it can't be in Hera, because you need a light device to get the big key.
Yep. So where is this, Rick? Where is this lantern? Because there can't be too many places left.
It's got to be in the Mire area.
Mire area.
Oh, nice kill there for someone325.
Ooh, yeah, really nice. Getting those silvers. Feeling good about it.
Now, I'm wondering if Ridley's going to pull off the fake powder glitch here. He's got an opportunity to do so while he's in the area. And also remember that Ridley is the only one that knows that the magic powder is Aghanim blocked.
Just like someone.
He is setting it up.
Yes, he is. He's going to be doing the fake powder glitch you were talking about earlier.
So here's how this works. He's going to drain out his magic, as you mentioned before. Piece of heart and Bombo's tablet. So he's going to drain out his magic. Once he does do that, he's going to use the Cane of Samaria here, and then switch quickly over to the mushroom. This takes away the effect of, this uses pretty much the equivalent of the powder, and that ends up activating this magic bat. As you can see right here, this sequence breaks the trip up Aghanim's tower. And what does it yield? A piece of heart.
At this point, the one significant thing it could have given us is Bombos. But if that was Bombos and Bombos was required, That would have made this seed very, very interesting.
Yeah. If it was Bombos, then it would tell us, 1, Lamp can't be in ice. And if Bombos was required for Misery Mire, then Lamp can't be there either.
That is correct.
50 rupees from the purple chest. Someone is going into desert, and this continues the 3,252 sequence breaks.
Yep.
However, Lamp can be in desert. And if someone finds the Lamp here, that'd make things interesting.
What if it's on this torch up here? Nope, just a small key.
I'm surprised he's not bonking to grab that. Maybe he's going to go check to see what we have inside this chest in the big chest.
Well, here's the thing. Someone325 can't bonk right now.
Oh, that is right. RidleyDragon checking to see. Mire is Quake.
The one medallion he does have.
And what do we have inside the shed? We have the bomb upgrade. And a piece of heart.
Yeah, at this point I'm thinking Lamp is probably in Mire.
Could it be in Checkerboard Cave? No, that's a piece of heart. So RidleyDragon is thinking about the options. Got the mirror all loaded. Gonna go into desert. I like this play, but it's only gonna pay off if RidleyDragon finds the lamp on the right-hand side. And misses with the first silver arrow, so it's not going to be a one-cycle Lamo here for someone. I know we have about maybe 600 people, and some of them are being very vocal about us forgetting one spot that hasn't been checked, where the lamp could still be.
Did we forget about that hobo?
They've been trying to get us to understand the hobo could have something. By the way, did we just see an item drop from desert? No, because there's the red rupee there, so it dropped the compass. So this is not a beatable dungeon here for Ridley.
Yeah, it is not. He does not have a light source yet.
All right, someone, where are you going to next? And that tells RidleyDragon that he cannot beat this dungeon. Does he go into Mire next?
Looks like someone325 is getting the big bomb here at the bomb shop. We're probably going to be seeing a pyramid fairy check here.
And we know at this point that that can't be anything like the lamp. It could still be for bombos, but the bombos wouldn't be required at this point.
Yes, it would not be required.
What do we have up here on the island? That's a piece of heart. We're going to Hobo next.
I did actually consider something else. I don't think someone325 has actually been back up to Death Mountain to find out that Ether is the required medallion for Turtle Rock yet. Ridley has.
He doesn't have access to that side yet because he still hasn't gotten the Titan Smith.
Yeah.
All right,
So
Hobo. Does Hobo have it? No. Red Rupee. It's got to be in Mire. I think we've checked everything except for one spot at this point. You know where that one spot is? Well, Ridley knows.
oh yeah, Spike Cave is a location too.
Now, someone is going to check Hobo himself. Hopefully, he'll make the pass over to Zoro soon as well. And we know that the lamp cannot be in Turtle Rock. Once again, Ether is the medallion required to get into Turtle Rock, and you have to be Eastern in order to get that from Sarashla. All right, Spike Cave, do you have a lamp for us? No!
Well, someone's. Well, maybe not. Okay, gonna check the island first.
Yeah, he's going to check the island first, then he's heading to the waterfall. At that point, he's seen the boots up there. He knows what's up there. He wants to get those boots bad.
I swear, the story of this seed. We haven't been playing Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. We've been playing Legend of Zelda: A Break to the Sequence, because just these sequence breaks in this seed have just been leading to mass confusion on all fronts.
Now, someone did not go get the boots. So someone here is heading over towards Misery Mire. See what medallion is required to get inside. We'll see that it is the Quake. Now, by logic, someone may be getting ready to go into go mode. Now, someone's going to go to get those boots. Someone knows where the ice rod is.
That's right, he's the only one that does.
RidleyDragon having some issues here, bonking around, trying to get over towards the castle area. I'm not certain where he's heading up to now, but that's what it is. He just wants to flute away. By the way, both of these runners had the mushroom. Did they turn that mushroom in yet? No, I don't think they did.
Yeah, I don't think they did, because, yeah, Ridley used it for fake powder, and I don't think he's gone over to the witch yet.
So someone's going to go into the Tower of Hera, but we'll check East Death Mountain soon. As RidleyDragon going into Misery Mire.
The lamp has to be there. Come on. At this point.
So, vote, chat. Is lamp in Misery Mire? Vote yes or no now.
Oh my gosh, we have the tablets too. Oh, almost forgot about
Tablets
that.
are not eligible for the lamp, though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Book was in the dark room. Alright, someone will pick up the big key out of the chest here, and the Tower of Hera knows that this is a dungeon that's got to be beat. And by the way, at that point, someone will be able to pick up the pedestal. But does someone do it before or after he gets the boots? RidleyDragon begins the chest 1. It is a small key. I've been waiting to announce that someone is in go mode, but someone doesn't know that they're in go mode just yet. There's the second item of the Tower of Hera. Someone can go instantly up and deal with the mold worm. And Moldworm says, "Hi, how you doing, buddy?" Getting him over to the top left, trying to make sure he takes care of it. RidleyDragon finds the bombos. Oh no!
It could be, the lamp can be in ice now.
Oh no! There's the blue pendant for someone.
I have a feeling that after this, Ridley might start thinking about learning some dark rooms.
Exactly. Now, RidleyDragon's been backing away from that room to the south. That's because he has no fire source at this point, so it can't be in the big chest, key chest. That was an error of mine. Lapse of judgment. Someone will go ahead and see the boots up there. I believe he saw that earlier. He's going to head on over to Turtle Rock. He will see the ether. And someone doesn't have the bombos. It's RidleyDragon who has the bombos. So there's the ether. And now at 1 hour 11:26, we can proclaim that someone is in go mode. And that the lamp is not in Misery Mire.
But he cannot go into Turtle Rock just yet. Wants to wait till he has that ice rod before he makes that play. Might also consider taking care of the other 2 dungeons on the floor as well. Just so once he gets done with those, he can just go back up here for Turtle Rock, make the last dungeon, and finish up Ganon's Tower right after.
And you can tell that someone knows that he's in go mode.
Yep, going straight for the boots, ignoring the rest of Hookshot Cave.
So someone325 in go mode just has to go and pull that ice rod off the pedestal, and that will be the next stop. As RidleyDragon now with the bombos is in Ice Palace, and I am extremely concerned for RidleyDragon at this point. Do you see that magic meter?
Yeah, that's not very high, and you really need magic for this dungeon, so hopefully he gets lucky with maybe some drops in the penguin room.
Swing and a miss at the freeze roar for someone. And here is RidleyDragon going through the first Pentagator room. There's the big key.
As we can see from someone, not looking at any more chests, going straight for the end here. Must feel confident in their dark rooms for...
Yeah. And you can tell when a runner is really confident in their dark rooms.
Yes.
They've got no reason to go the extra mile at this point, to go through the extra distance. It's going to take you some extra time to do so, especially depending on where this lamp turns out to be. It could very well turn out at Cold Stare.
That's true. Very true.
Which would be the best case scenario here for someone.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see how the bomb jumps work. Someone nails it. RidleyDragon. Doesn't nail it too low.
I find it weird how Boo has to do a bomb jump when Boo's clearly hovering right now. I mean, he's not touching the ground. He wouldn't fall into the pit.
Maybe the ice makes it so he can't float the way he's supposed to. Not even taking care of the freeze where someone wants a piece of cold stare. Someone needs magic.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes, because cold stare, when you only have the normal magic meter, you have to have a full magic meter in order to get all the fire rod shots done. If someone had bombos, he'd be fine, but he does not, so unfortunately he does need that full magic to actually break that ice shell.
What he ended up doing is he grabbed a key from that one room so he can pick up these 3 little magic things here. And that is exactly what he needed to see. And that's also good knowing how the dungeon works.
Yes, definitely.
That's why it's always good to know what items you get underneath pots.
Mm-hmm. Magic could help you in one seed. Having some extra health could help you in another seed. It's always good just to be familiar with at least some of those pot drops.
And take a look at this kill here for Cold Stare. Doesn't get him the clean that he would love to, but tackles him down, and he drops a small key. So this game wanted you to have the Candace and Mario for this dungeon, by logic.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, it was pretty early in Palace of Darkness, so not too much of an issue to grab.
RidleyDragon getting a 10 bomb upgrade. Now what he wants to see. He wants to see something that will help illuminate his path.
Not just through dark rooms, but also through the rest of the seed, because he is depending on that lamp to actually guide him to some of the items he still needs.
As someone325 heads into Misery Mire, already knew that it was the Quake, and this is going to hurt. This is unfortunate when you have the Quake as the entry into Mire, because you're going to guarantee a bop by this Myrtle Dactyl.
Mm-hmm.
And there he ended up taking the hit. Thankfully, he has Blue Mail that helps ease some of the pain. Piece of Heart. Item number 2.
It's going to be the last item in Ice Palace here.
There is our lamp in the big key chest. This seed is disgusting. And little does RidleyDragon know the other trick behind this seed.
It is really evil when they put the lamp in a dungeon. They expect you to go to a dungeon that has a dark room to get bombos, just so you can go back to ice to get the lamp.
So, by logic, this was a double dip Eastern, a double dip Palace of Darkness, a double dip Misery Mire.
Yeah. And after all this is still a pedestal seed too.
Yep. And RidleyDragon at this point does not know that he's got to get the 3 pendants. Nor does he know at this point that Sarashla has the ether that gets you into Turtle Rock.
Yep.
RidleyDragon suffering a death. That is unfortunate, but does have a fairy in the bottle. Having a really rough go at it here against Cold Stare. Lost him out of the corner. Now it's just pretty much a keep the puffs away from you.
Meanwhile, icicles are raining from the sky, just being a pain and a bother in this fight as well.
Don't get hit again, please. Get this Cold Stare dead. There we go. And that is only crystal number 3 for RidleyDragon. What do you think is going through RidleyDragon's mind when you're picking up your 3rd crystal at 80 minutes in?
Well, it's definitely got to be feeling a little demoralizing. I bet he has a little bit of relief knowing, hey, I have the lamp now. I can at least clear some dungeons and kind of get some other dungeons done. But again, there's still so much of this seed left for him to complete. Needs to get, again, like you said, the Ether Medallion at Sashrala, the Ice Rod at Pedestal. So there's a lot of work that needs to get done. And, very soon, and sooner than he'll expect, he's probably going to see that done from someone.
Yeah. And this is going to be an amazing time for someone for all the twists and turns that this seed ended up bringing. And so far, someone is doing pretty decent in these dark rooms in Mire. These are some of the worst dark rooms that you have to face in this game.
Yes. Thankfully, I want to say like the hardest dark room in this series of dark rooms is the first one, which has you blindly putting a Cane of Samaria block onto a switch. He seemed to get through that pretty well, and has been through the worst of it, at least in my opinion, but it's still just a very, very rough set of dark rooms to get through. And no torches you can use to light the way either.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that can help you out when you're in Eastern Palace in that room with the Igor, or in Palace of Darkness with those beetles.
Yeah,
here you don't have that luxury. So RidleyDragon going to go ahead and grab the big key. Now, thankfully for both of these runners, they've got the bow and silver arrows. Vitreous is going to be an easy fight. Well, that is if someone doesn't take another hit by an eyeball. He'll be fine. There we go.
I think someone also still has the fairy in a bottle too, so I think he does anyway.
I don't know. Did he go up to Zora?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's where... Oh, maybe he doesn't, yeah, because I do remember him getting the mitts at the very least.
Because I think he grabbed the mitts and then hightailed it over to the Mire to see what that medallion was, and then up to Death Mountain.
I think you're right. Maybe I don't think he... Yeah, you're right. I don't think he did get that.
Zora was a fairy in a bottle. The one sword that someone never got was in the Super Bunny Cave. And now someone325 is making his way to the pedestal. And this will now officially put him into go mode, but he already knows that he can blitz the remainder of this game. And he tributes the pedestal with a toot of the flute. And up comes the ice rod for someone325. It's time to head into Turtle Rock.
At least the ice rod kind of looks like a sword, like a weapon you'd take out of the pedestal.
That is correct. Now someone can just go ahead and go to the Turtle Rock. We'll see how Turtle Rock treats their runners today. Let's see how the Vitreous fight is for RidleyDragon. Like, I'm not going to do the fanfare for the go mode because we did that when someone picked up the boots and found out that it was Ether for Turtle Rock. Ridley gets hit with the lightning. Oh, gets hit with another lightning, but thankfully Blue Mail that reduces the effect of it. Gets the 2 silver arrows to the eyeball, and he will be done. with Misery Meyer, but a lot of catch up. And again, the whole thing looming about RidleyDragon not knowing that this is a pedestal required seed.
That is correct. The one item he will get from the sequence of having Lamp is he will be able to pull off the Fire Rod in Eastern if he does go back to that, but he could be looking at those pendants and thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't go to Eastern because of the pendant dungeon. And unfortunately, that would be a bit of a mistake because not only is Fire Rod there, but its reward will lead you 1/3 of the way to Ice Rod, but also to the Ether Battalion too.
This is a battle of sequence breaks. Someone did the better sequence break, and it led to him finding out about the pedestal requirement of this seed a lot sooner.
That is very true. Because Ridley doesn't even have the book to check the pedestal, so... Definitely the sequence break of Dark Rooms definitely led to a lot more intel for someone325.
RidleyDragon finishing off Vitreous, but didn't get the second item, so came back in, checked the big chest. It was just a 20 rupee. And now RidleyDragon going to go and finish off Desert while we're here. Both of these runners are 1-1. The winner of this match goes to 2-1. Loser of this match goes to 1-2, and we'll have a stressful week next week.
Again, just to clarify to people in chat asking about this, and maybe for anybody coming in, the Fire Rod was located behind the Dark Room in Eastern Palace. And not only that, but the book was also located in a Dark Room in Palace of Darkness. So right there, those are two items that for someone325 was able for him to, one, clear Skullwoods, and also check the book while he was over there clearing Skullwoods. So he was able to determine pretty much from the get-go that this is a pedestal seed. Unfortunately, without those items, Ridley has not ventured in that area and does not have that intel for that reason.
And I should point out that this is a case here where knowing your dark rooms would give you an advantage. And it's perfectly all right for our runners to go ahead and pull up a map so they can take a look at the dark rooms and help guide them through them if they do so desire. As we see RidleyDragon settling on and getting one of the three dead with the silver arrow. Gets the second hit and third one pretty good on the Lamola fight there for RidleyDragon as someone325 picks up the big key. Now someone still has one more dark room to deal with. What's your opinion on this upcoming dark room, Slim? Is it one of the easier ones, or how difficult do you think it is?
For me, I don't think it's too bad, but I've also done the room so many times in just Randomizer in general. So it's the room where you have to ride a Samaria block around the room. There's a bunch of different tracks that kind of turn in different ways. But if you've gone through that room enough times and you've kind of memorized the location of all the fire bars, you can kind of use that as an indicator that you're going the right path. If you haven't fully familiarized with yourself with that path, it can be a little difficult, but I'd still say probably the Meyer Dark Room is more difficult. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, the Meyer one is definitely a very difficult one, and that, as you mentioned before, it's that first one that is the worst one, because if you don't play that room well, you're getting beamed all over the place. And those beams, no matter what mail you have on, is going to deal 1 heart damage.
Looks like someone325 had looked like he had the first path already, but I guess not. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely an instance where it is tough, just because you do not know where exactly it is, and it's hard to tell where you are. May opt to just go back to the beginning and try again.
And here's the thing. This trip here, if you know where you're going, is easy. As you see, someone is resetting this, so he knows where exactly he is at this point. And he's going to do it again. And now, hopefully, he can figure out where he's going. Nope, he lost the path where he's going again. Now, if you know where you're going on this path, this is an easy journey for you. If you don't, this is what makes this a really difficult journey.
It looks like he does kind of have it now, though. Unfortunately, getting a little turned around right there.
Yeah.
Bringing out the hook shot to avoid these damage from the fire bars.
Yeah, he now needs to turn to the left, and it looks like he's going to the right instead. And falls off. That's unfortunate. And it looks like someone at this point is going to come look up one of those guys. Because remember, I mentioned the runners are allowed to have a guide, a map of the said room. So here we go. This is round 2. Now, someone has to be careful. They've got 1.5 hearts. These fire bars, they do 1 heart of damage, no matter what you're wearing.
Yeah, and 2 hits will unfortunately be it for him. Looks like he might have the path now, though.
Yeah, I think he's got it now. Just toe to the left, and he should be fine.
Okay.
Yep, he's got it. There we go. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to go safety door here, because at 1.5 hearts, if you end up dying to any of these lasers, you got to do that dark room again.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely good to take the safety door right there. Also, RidleyDragon should be getting that book very, very soon.
Nice! For someone to find the key in the first chest.
There's the book for RidleyDragon. That's the key to finding out what's on that pedestal, which is something he needs to do.
Yeah, the book doesn't unlock anything besides the knowledge of what's on the pedestal to seed.
Mm-hmm.
Someone having a little bit of issues here in this room. Maybe getting a little anxious. I mean, someone's got to think at this point that they're in a very good spot. You're in hour 32 and you're going through your last dungeon on a pedestal required seed.
Yeah, this is remarkable time by someone325. I really have to give them credit for just how fast they're able to do all of this, and also just get through those really difficult dark rooms without the novelty of the lamp as well. So very well played by him. Unfortunately, taking a death right there to Trinex.
But safety door.
Yeah, he does have a safety door, so we do have that for him. But yeah, this is a remarkable time for sure for clearing all dungeons except Aghanim's Tower.
Yeah, I think someone's getting in that little flustered state at this point, and maybe it has to do with what time in the run we were at, but just has to calm himself down and get himself to the finish line.
Yep.
And here's the fight against Trinex, round number 2. The Tempered Sword takes 5 hits per the first head here. Get him knocked down, move over to the right-hand side, try to do it with the blue head. Watch out for the head, here it comes. And there's the down with the second head. Here comes one more thrust of the head. And gets him tackled down. A little nervous there getting down to 3 hearts, but we are good. Someone325 will be the first one to head over to Ganon's Tower.
Which, that does bring up something that we should start talking about. We like to play a little game here on the Speed Gaming channels. There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower that could have the big key. You guys are going to guess which location that big key is hiding. number 1 through 22. Where is that big key going to end up being?
And if you are a supporter of Speed Gaming by either subscribing to any of the channels or donating, or not donating, but giving off 250 or more bits in any of the channels, you are eligible to go make it to our leaderboard. It's all just for fun, but a way to say thank you to those who help support Speed Gaming. So put the numbers in chat. I put down the number 10. What do you say, Slim?
I'm going to go with my tried and true number 8. I think it's going to be number 8.
You're going to say number 8. Here we go. RidleyDragon facing off against the Homicide King. And we get a piece of heart and 50 rupees. So if we want to try to go right-hand side, we got to borrow a key from the left side.
And at this point, I may just decide to go the rest of the way on the left side before going to the right side.
Piece of heart on the torch. You notice how many hearts that someone has? That's a low amount of hearts for all things considering in this run.
Yeah, has that first row completed, but nothing on that second row. Meanwhile, RidleyDragon having up to 15. So half of that second row is completed for him.
Inside chest number 4, we find 20 rupees. And 5, we find a small key. 6, the cape. 7, 20 rupees. Slim Kirby's tried and true number 8 is next. RidleyDragon going into Eastern. He'll get the fire rod there. 8 is just 20 rupees. Sorry, Slim.
Meanwhile, RidleyDragon going through Eastern Palace will finally pick up his fire rod very, very soon. As someone making up a chest number 9 here, we got a small key. Still not what we're looking for.
Time to head into the randomizer room. Named that because why would you go into this room any other way? Chest 10, 3 bombs. Chest 11, 20 rupees. 20 rupees and an arrow upgrade. We're going to say hello to Bob. And just to reiterate, Ridley does have the book. He does have Misery Mire done. Our apologies on the tracking. And here comes Bob's chest. This would be chest number 14.
Hey, Bob, can we borrow that big key you might be hiding?
He's got a shield instead. Armos Knights, the Ice Armo Knights. These are not a friend if you don't know how to deal with them. But he does tackle them pretty easily. Chest number 15. 20 rupees. 16 small key. 17, 20 rupees. We're going right side.
Wow. So at this point, I mean, especially if you have that cape, would you consider checking tile room at this point?
I almost would think about it at this point. Speaking of Armos, here's RidleyDragon's fight. A little too early on the first arrow, but we'll have them tackled down pretty easily. Gets the compass for his efforts.
And one of his pendants. Now, this green pendant is very important. Not just for pedestal, but that'll also unlock the Ether Medallion, and another item that Ridley does need to complete this seed.
Yep, that's correct. Okay, so we didn't tackle that. Tile room. 20 and 21. It's in number 21. No tile room today for our runners. So if you picked number 21, Slim Kirby, what do they win?
A lamp, because that's been just such a funny and trolly item in this scene.
Nobody picked 21 either. Someone's going to have to be careful with this health heading into this room here. Through that room here, but this is nervous with 1.5 hearts. There's still one real rough section here before we end up getting to the where you can get bonk into the fairy room. And I like this play from someone. He's taking this room safe.
Yeah, he's aware that there is a fairy room coming up, so just need to be careful here, though.
Yeah, he just didn't want to take unnecessary damage at this point. Pops in, gets the 2 fairies, also picks up the full magic fill-up. Time to head upstairs and deal with what we call the gauntlet, Slim.
Yeah, so we have the gauntlet right here. This is a series of, I believe, 5 rooms where you have to fight non-stop enemies. And you have to basically clear out the room of all the enemies, aside from the BMOs, obviously, before you can proceed. This gauntlet can be pretty tricky, considering the AI is never the same for any of the enemies in these rooms. So sometimes you can get a really bad pattern in one of the rooms. It may take you a bit longer than others. But once you get through here, kind of a signification that you're getting really, really close to the end. Just gotta land Nola's fight here in this next room, and then just the rest of the tower to climb, which is some torches you have to light, some Wizrobes you have to kill, and you're pretty much at the end.
Oh, don't go into Turtle Rock, Ridley. Don't go into Turtle Rock. This is not going to end well.
Well, you could be looking at it from another perspective here. Ridley did get that Ether Medallion from Zashrala. Probably wasn't expecting that. Knew that Ether Medallion was here. Could be thinking that with someone still not finishing the seed yet, could be thinking that this might be the play to kind of get him caught up. But unfortunately, it will not really pay off for him.
RidleyDragon going into Turtle Rock. Won't find the ice rod in here. Will be limited on the options, but he's done someone just barely enough magic to get through that room.
Thankfully, there will be another magic pot coming up here in a little bit, but yeah, cut that kind of close.
Moldorm 2 not playing nice with someone. Spins him around. There we go. There's the spin. Moldorm 2 is down.
And what did Moldorm leave behind in his chest?
Heart number 11.
Ooh, okay, that's nice.
Nice time for a fill-up. If you're going to get a piece of heart from Moldorm 2, at least you're going to have that to help fill up your life.
He wasn't down on too many hearts, but still, it is always a welcome thing to see those pieces of hearts in the last few chests. Just to get a nice little fill up before the end.
2 and 2 so far, and this is setting up beautifully. No, it was 2-1-2 then. That second hit had 2 hit him at the same time to count as 1. And 2-1-2-1 for someone325, heading over to the Aghanim fight now.
Heading over to the Aghanim fight on pretty much an all dungeon clear for the Ice Rod at Pedestal.
At 1 hour and 44. How about that?
Yeah, that is insanely good.
Like, that is kind of the more remarkable thing about this is this was a full game clear pretty much in a $144. And you gotta mention, you gotta remember that someone did, as you mentioned, did pretty good in the Key Sanity tournament that happened back in the winter.
Yes, he did. Went 4-2 in those Swiss stages. Just one game away from getting in that play-in race for the final 8. So definitely knows his randomizer. Probably learned a lot of the strats he's been showing us today. Dark rooms, everything, just from past tournament experience, and has done very, very well in this tournament so far.
Had a beautiful stage 2 setup to get him into stage 3 immediately here. Has to dodge the fire bat, gets him tackled down the 5 hearts, so he's going to have to be a little careful, but once we get to stage 4, this becomes easier for someone.
Yep, he has those silver arrows.
Ganon, please. It's getting late at night here. Let's get some bacon. Did you get the arrows at Swamp Palace? Well, of course, you gave them to Argus. It was going to be an easy silvers to get. Thank you. Wow, that's 2 swipes there at Ganon that were perfectly timed. And we say perfectly timed as in when you need to normally hit him on the silverless kill. There we go. Someone325 has defeated Ganon and will win this match over RidleyDragon. Get your GGs into the chat. Someone325 has finished in first place with an official SR.TV time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 26 seconds. Get your GGs in. How about that time?
Yeah, like we've been saying the last 10 minutes or so, just a ridiculous good time for just in terms of where all these items were located. Very well executed, very well routed. Just very nice gameplay from someone.
We mentioned this before. The big play was going through the dark rooms, getting that book, getting that fire rod. That led someone over to Skull Woods and allowed him to find out what was going on with his seed, with it being a pedestal required seed.
Yep, that was definitely the big play, and definitely the play that speaks out that, you know, intelligence or intel in general is very important in these randomizers because it can just really affect your routing, really affect the decisions you make, and as you can see right here, just got someone thinking in the right direction of where he needed to go in this seat.
I'll give me just a second. We're going to get someone in here for the post-race interview.
Hey.
And joining us in the voice channel, we have someone325. GG, congratulations on your win.
GG's.
So how are you feeling about this pedestal required seed?
I felt it was pretty good for me because I found book early in pod. So I figured it out as a pedestal seed early. And then I did dark rooms bad, but who cares about that?
Yeah. And what ended up giving you the big advantage over your opponent here is RidleyDragon did not do a single dark room, did not get the Fire Rod out of Eastern, did not get the book out of the Palace of Darkness. Therefore, RidleyDragon at this point still does not know that this is a pedestal required seed.
Oh, wow. Did he find lamp at least?
Yes, and you want to take a guess where it was?
No.
I love the honesty.
Ice Palace Big Key Chest.
Yeah, wow.
And when you think about the logic that this seed was requiring, what the seed wanted you to do was to double dip Misery Mire to get the Bombos Medallion in the first run to get into Ice Palace to get the lamp, because the Fire Rod was blocked behind the lamp as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Times missed with my go mode item, so I would never have found that lamp.
Yeah, because once you got the mitts, you knew where the boots were. It was just a, let's hope that the Bombos wasn't required to get into Misery Mire. Let's hope that the Bombos wasn't required to get into Turtle Rock. And when you found out that Ether was Turtle Rock's medallion, it was go mode time.
Yeah. I also did that quick check in Mire, not even collecting any items.
So RidleyDragon now going into Skull Wood. So soon enough, RidleyDragon is going to put this all together, but him not doing the dark rooms just kind of put him at a huge disadvantage in this seed. This was one of those cases where knowing your dark rooms paid off dividends.
Yeah, because not only you found Fire Rod in Eastern, you also found Ether at Eastern. I mean, the green pendant.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And again, that book was also in a dark room as well. So again, even just the intel of the pedestal being required was also a huge factor for this race as well.
So going through Turtle Rock and the issues that you had in Turtle Rock, were you getting nervous at all about where your opponent was?
Not really, because I figured no sane person would go to pod without lamp that early.
So are you saying that you're not a sane person?
Maybe.
Well, one thing I will say is that 146 in pretty much a seed where you had to clear all dungeons, and just, again, just the layout of where all these items were was a really, really fantastic time. So definitely, like, major GG for that. This was very well done on your part. Even considering you had to take a little time to get the dark room down in Turtle Rock, at the end of the day, still just was able to get through this seed very, very well, very, very quickly, and just kind of get everything you needed for the end game.
Yeah, thank you.
So with the win, you improved to 2-1 in this tournament. So you're 3 wins down away from making it into the brackets. Your thoughts as you go into week 4?
Not much other than just one.
Pegasus boots at 1 hour 11:34, and that was probably about 20-25 minutes later than RidleyDragon had him. But it was just RidleyDragon, his sequence break to get the flipper to get the Titans paid off in that end. Just it didn't work out the remainder of the way, as RidleyDragon now gets the unfortunate news this is a pedestal required seed. Your thoughts when you saw that the ice rod was on there?
Well, I felt pretty good because I found Burke early, but that's just me.
Yeah, and again, at that point, I think, like we established earlier, I think the only thing you really needed at that point were the Titans mitts. The boots, honestly, would have just been just a bonus to kind of go faster. But once you got those Titans mitts, like, you knew you were pretty good to go at that point, because there's a lot of blockades, and especially for this seed, for the rest of the seed and how it went down, because you needed mitts to get into 3 of the remaining dungeons that you had. So, like, once you found those, you knew where all your other items were. So it was just a matter of locating those, and once then, you were pretty good to go. So I can understand that.
Uh-huh.
But definitely congratulations on the win. It was well deserved.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna stick around and chat for a bit, but I had to go to the bathroom.
All right, sounds good. That's someone325. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you back here for week number 4.
All right, see you then.
And yeah, it looks like RidleyDragon is opting to finish this seed, so definitely major props to him. Definitely when you kind of find out this late that, okay, well, this last item I need to make a little more ground before I can get it. Can be a little demoralizing, but at least he knows the path forward and shouldn't take too much longer. I think he just has to complete Hera to get that last pendant, and I think he just has to go to Turtle Rock after that.
Yeah, at this point, he's just got to go to Hera and then up to Turtle Rock. That's all he has to do at this point. He's got all the other knowledge at this point, and the only thing that RidleyDragon probably feels bad about is the fact that he just walked right by the Tower of Hera heading into Turtle Rock. And the other thing about Ridley is he's already searched all of TR, so it's just a go to Trinex and finish that off.
Yeah, Turtle Rock on the revisit, once you've cleared everything out, is actually not really too long. In fact, it's something that a lot of people are often surprised that the revisit is so short. But yeah, like when you just kind of walk straight to the end, it's really not that long of a dungeon when you break it down. There's also a few doors and a few rooms you can just skip entirely if you know the dungeon layout. So yeah, it's a much faster clear on the second time around.
Lantern was in the big key chest in Ice Palace,
which by logic required the Bombos medallion from Misery Mire to even get to, because that fire rod located beyond a dark room.
Yep. As we've established in the earlier, Eastern Palace was a required double dip. Misery Mire was a required double dip by logic. And those kind of seeds are evil.
They are, which again is why a lot of these runners do opt to learn dark rooms, or at least some of the dark rooms, just to kind of circumvent and prevent that. But go ahead.
I was going to say, it definitely helps when Lamp turns out to be in a really nasty spot, like in Pendant, having to go through Pendant Turtle Rock to find it in Mimic Cave.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Definitely. Yeah, the one thing I was going to say is, like, I can't really discredit Ridley's play too much, because there is definitely value in following the logic. Because, and again, it mainly due to if you're not confident with doing something like dark rooms, sometimes following the logic's not so bad because you want to have an easier time through them. It's just unfortunate that in this particular seed, following the logic did kind of take you through a very roundabout way to get through the process of getting to the lamp.
Yeah, and the whole thing is that the double dips, they add time, and certain dungeons, it adds more time than others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So the final pen to pick up here for RidleyDragon, time to pull up the pedestal and head back over to Turtle Rock. Now, the one thing here for Ridley at this rate is going back to Turtle Rock and then heading over to Ganon's Tower. We know the key's on the right-hand side. There's no key on the right-hand side, so it's likely that he's going to end up going through the entire tower as well. So I'm thinking at this point that we're looking at maybe about a 220, 225 finish here for Ridley.
Yeah, I'd say probably a little closer to 220, but yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. It would be nice if he kind of goes to the left first, gets like a few keys, and then does right side, but again, there's a possibility that won't happen. Just kind of depends on how they feel comfortable with their Ganon's Tower routing. And here we go. RidleyDragon pulling the pedestal item. He is officially in go mode.
There's the ice rod for RidleyDragon. Time to head back up to Turtle Rock.
Now, as we can see from his sprite right now, he is supersonic. Unfortunately, unlike in the Sonic the Hedgehog game, he does not have invincibility, but things will be doing less damage to him, so at least he has that going for him.
Couldn't we make Sonic special like that?
You could, but that would, that'd make everyone want to use Sonic just so they can get red mail and never worry about damage again. So that'd be really unfair.
I'm still using the bunny. I don't care.
Okay, that's good. And I'll still use Kirby.
So as RidleyDragon heads over to Turtle Rock, let's go ahead and talk about some of the matches we've got coming up tomorrow on day number 17 of the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. It all begins at 8 a.m. when we have Dylan Do Games Meme Killer versus Back of Baller. That's at 8 a.m. over on Speed Gaming 2. Over here on Speed Gaming, Ozbone versus Titus Z. It's going to be beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern. At noon, we have High Def Low Mind versus Maligore. That's once again 12 o'clock Eastern over on Speed Gaming 3. 2 o'clock Eastern, Justin Z versus the Dragon Feeney over on Speed Gaming. 3 o'clock Eastern, Salty Fry versus Almagus. That's over on Speed Gaming 3. Carter Freak versus Final Flame on Speed Gaming 4 at 4 p.m. Eastern. Barney FF versus D-Brum88 over on Speed Gaming 5 at 5 p.m. tomorrow. And Big Duncan versus Pink Kitty Rose, Speed Gaming 3. We have Love on Firestorm versus Drunken Draconian, 6:30 over on Speed Gaming. Ultra the 4 versus Number Play at 7 o'clock. That's on Speed Gaming 4. Ruble versus Hacksaw, Speed Gaming 2 tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Hippo versus Gloin, Speed Gaming 3 at 9 o'clock Eastern. We have the Manicus, the Tormentor versus Lanxian, 9:30 Eastern on Speed Gaming. Hitaka versus Jacob for Life over on Speed Gaming 4 at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then I just lost my spot.
What I'm getting at, though, is there's a lot of randomizer to come tomorrow.
Absolutely, and you can take a look at the schedule. We have some races that don't have restream set up at this time. They may end up on the Link to the Past Randomizer channels as well, but those are the matches we've got coming up on the Speed Gaming channels.
And let's not forget, we are only in week 3 of this 7-week Swiss stage. And there's going to be a lot of matches for the next 4 weeks, even after this week, just trying to get to that 120 player bracket stage. So plenty of more randomizer where that came from.
So RidleyDragon almost done here with Turtle Rock, about ready to go face off against Trinex. Your 220 estimate may not be that far off.
That's right. If he nails the GT routing perfectly in this particular CD, could potentially get closer to 215. But I'd say 220 is probably more accurate.
Yeah. Interesting that neither runner ended up getting the golden sword, even though we knew where all 4 swords were.
Yeah, that's right. The final sword upgrade for RidleyDragon was in the last part of Skull Woods. At that point, Ridley knew what he needed for go mode, so didn't bother checking that chest. Someone325, I believe, did not get the sword that was in Super Bunny Cave.
Yeah, and for the same reason that Ridley didn't get the one in Skull Woods.
Yep, wasn't in go mode, so didn't even worry about it. Now, we are not going to be doing the big key guessing game again because we know where it is, but, you know, it does make me wonder if it will be the same exact 21 location for Ridley as it was for someone. Again, could end up surprising us and getting small keys on the left side and going straight back to the right side.
So if Ridley is going to go right side, he's going to have to steal a key from the left side.
Yes, he will.
Looked like for just a second there, Ridley tried to juke us out by going left side. That was a football move. So obviously with this path, you kind of have to commit to going to the left side unless you do what is called the Dark Magician route, where you grab the left side here up to the skull room and then make your way over the right side. And that looks like the right he's going.
Yep, it was. Yeah. It looks like he was kind of reconsidering there for a moment, but yeah, I think he is going to be going straight to the left side, or
He threw the pot off, and he doesn't know about
right.
the extended block there that you can actually reach that one block.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So therefore, Ridley's going to find it either chest 21, or if he decides to check the mirror, or if he's going to check the tile room, that'll be chest 22. Also, props to these runners for sticking with us because of the hour delay it took to get this to go.
Yeah, we all know how crazy the internet can be, and sometimes issues just pop up, can't always control them, so we definitely appreciate all of your patience with getting this race started. Thankfully, we were able to get it going before too long, and we could at least see the outcome and how this race is going to go down. So thank you all for waiting, and yeah, glad to have you here with us this late at night.
No offense, I want my bed.
I do too, but there's rando that needs to be done, Rick. I'm sorry.
Yes, we need to finish this race between these two runners. Have push RidleyDragon to the finish line. Interesting question. I do wonder where the half magic turned out to be as well, because that's one of the few things we didn't see.
Could have been in tile room for all we know.
Could have been up heading up the remainder of the floors up Ganon's tower.
Could have been on a tablet, or a fetch quest item for that matter.
Actually, we know it's not on a tablet. Ridley checked the ether. That turned out to be a bug catching net. And someone checked the bombos, and I think that was bombs, if I remember correctly, but it wasn't half magic.
Okay, maybe not on the tablet then.
I think he was thinking about powdering the anti-fairy that's known as Bob, but, well, that's right, he didn't get the powder.
Yep, I don't think powder was going to be on anyone's minds because of its location at the lumberjack tree.
Maybe he was in the big chest.
That's true. Big chest is often a chest you don't see checked in Randomizer, because once you have the big key, you're just tempted to go straight up to the top. The thing is, to someone asking about chat, half magic was not on powder because Ridley used a glitch called fake powder to see what was on that item location. So that is not where the half magic upgrade was.
So, alright, all it was a piece of heart.
Well, the thing is, Draconis, is there is a possibility, it'd have to be a very, very specific seed, where the big chest could end up having an item you need for the rest of the tower, like the bow. But, of course, for that to work out, both Eastern and Palace of Darkness would have to be pendant dungeons. But bow could very well end up in that big chest.
Could be the hook shot.
That is true as well. Could be the hook shot in there.
But if that's the case, then you have to go right side to get to the big key.
Mm-hmm. And it's not fun taking out the Armos Knights without the bow.
I don't think we really checked the mushroom, so that's possible half magic could have been there as well. Mushroom was at the hype cave, so it wasn't in one of those nice convenient check this next places, I think.
Anyway, with the big key in hand, Ridley is making his way to the gauntlet now.
It was a heart, apparently, according to the chat. And welcome to the gauntlet. We've got fun and games. Maybe not for the runners.
Funnily enough, I think for me anyway, usually the first room is the room Ridley just got done with, the Fred Stalfos room. I don't know what it is with those guys. They just always seem to bounce away from me at the exact right time.
$45 silver arrows. Let's see how he does with the Lamola 2 fight.
Gets 1 down. Gets 2 down.
Yeah, he got bunked by the Lamo, and therefore couldn't get that third one killed on that second cycle, so it takes 3 cycles.
I generally prefer using Fire Rod for that fight, but unfortunately with only the normal magic meter, probably not the best idea to use that, especially with some torch rooms coming up. And with that full magic restore, Ridley is ready to tackle the last 2 floors of Ganon's Tower. Looks like he is also not going to check those chests.
The mystery of what's inside them will continue to elude us for the evening.
As we established, could be that half magic we were talking about. Could have even been that 3rd shield upgrade as well. We haven't found that either.
And Moldorm 2 claims a victim.
As he generally likes doing in a lot of these randomizer and even vanilla runs.
And that's 2.
One of these times, I'd just like to see Moldorm fall down the pit, just to just kind of get a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah, for some reason Moldorm likes to cheat and not bounce off the platform.
I swear, when the developers made this game back in 1991, 92, I think 91, they seriously knew the worst enemies to put in certain rooms. Those turtle rooms were just really, really annoying for that last room, with the conveyor belt and the bumpers at the beginning.
Well, how do I make it even harder for you to make it up to the final boss? Let's put ice mechanics, spikes, bumpers, and mini helmosaurs. Ta-da! Loads of fun for all ages.
But with Aghanim 2 down for Ridley, he is moving on to the Ganon fight.
Oh yeah, can't forget about those conveyor belts.
Yeah, the conveyor belts. I'd say even the conveyor belts is what makes it even worse.
Should just add a few chain jumps for good measure.
Now you'd think, with them being like the most damaging enemy in the game, that Ganon would put some of those in his tower.
I think they decided, well, we want people to actually beat this game. Looks like we've moved on to stage 2, and Ridley's going to go to cave strats here, which means that he's going to be pulling out the potion once he's done with this. Gets him to stage 3 though, and this is going to be the right time for him to use that potion if he decides to do so, because of the fact that he's down to limited health.
Oh, he just took a fall. Though and I know exactly what happened there too. That the knockback sometimes in that fight, if you're holding the directional pad down in a certain direction, it can send you ungodly distances away from where you are.
He's going to grab this fairy and hold on to it, but this means that Ridley can't go into cave strats for phase 2 at this point.
If he did, it'd have to be a very, very brief period of time with the cave.
And considering how much magic he's got, that he doesn't have any potions, you really, really can't play too much with your magic, because you still need it for the torches.
That's right, you do. And yeah, to answer a quick question in chat, yeah, if you take a fall right there, you have to start the entire fight from the beginning, from this first phase. So, taking a fall on Ganon could be very, very costly, especially in a race.
Yeah, looks like he's just gonna go tank mode in this, knowing that he's got a fairy in a bottle.
I think he also has a red potion too, so...
Yeah, here goes his fairy in the bottle right here. Gets enough hits on him, though. He's on stage 3.
And that is a good point the chat brought up. Every time you also reset the fight, you also essentially reset Ganon's pattern, so he's not going to have the same pattern he had in that first fight.
I have a feeling these are frustration slashes that are going on, these multiple hits on Ganon.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
You're hour 22 on the pedestal seed. The only thing that the seed wanted to give you nice was those silver arrows on Argus. There's one of the hits, though. Here we go over the side. That's going to be hit number 2. 2 hits to remain. He's going to take it safe, wait for the torches to go out. I can't blame him here. Ooh, gets hit there. Corner top right. He's going to have to light the torches once more. And I'd wait him out at this point. He's not going to get him up there in the top corner. Here we go. Hit 4. And there we go. I was worried the timer was going to run out, because those torches were going to run out as well.
But he does get that hit in. Ganon is down for the count, and Ridley is going to finish his run.
Get your GGs in the chat for RidleyDragon, not only for getting through this seed, but continuing on after finding out that this was a pedestal required seed.
You know, considering...
And with that, we have RidleyDragon, GG.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was very, very well played by someone. I'm guessing he guessed correctly on the pedestal, and I definitely didn't.
He definitely he definitely had the pedestal check down. I'd say it was less him figuring it out and more him doing the dark rooms to give him fire rod, book, and essentially ether medallion a lot earlier than you.
That was the other problem, is I don't. I kind of took a gamble where the only dark room I'm really good at is that Eastern Palace one. I took a gamble by not entering Eastern Palace for a while. Just in general, I kind of figured out that the hammer had to be in there, so I grabbed that, and I said, okay, great, let me do the rest of the game now. And it totally struck out.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that there were so many things that were behind the fire, or rather the lamp in this seed, because the fire rod was behind the lamp, the book was behind the lamp, and the book plus the fire rod. You know, you had on over the woods, you would have found that out sooner.
I would have gotten the fire rod and the green pendant if I didn't fake flipper and get that early club. Then I would have been going in that direction.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It was definitely a game of sequence breaks.
So it's the second I saw him come up at 145, that I went, boy, either I'm right about this being in Turtle Rock, or he did the dark rooms and I've guessed totally wrong about this seed. And it was both.
Yeah, and unfortunately the gamble didn't pay off with Ice Rod not in there, but you did pull up the red mail, which we never saw on his screen. But this was an interesting seed because
this was kind of a cruel seed.
Yeah,
this is a bad seed.
This seed required a complete double dip of Eastern, a double dip of Misrimire. And that was completely rude in its own way, but where it decided it was going to throw that lamp.
Yeah. And it was, I'm not good enough to do Mire dark rooms or pod dark rooms, and I just took the bet that, you know what, I'm not going to, there's one more item in Eastern and I'm not going to need it.
And the problem is that
it struck out.
It was required, and not only that, but the green pendant that you got out of Eastern was required as well.
And then I got those, and I went, okay, surely this thing's gonna be on Turtle Rock, and then because I felt very behind, and I was very behind, I'm sure. It didn't matter.
So, what's the lesson you're gonna take out of this?
Say learn the dark rooms. Is the lesson I'm going to take out of this. What's the lesson I'm going to take out of this? I don't know. I kind of just lost gambles. If this goes the other way, I win this race.
And that is a good point and an interesting way to look at it, because there is definitely value to following the logic sometimes, because if you kind of keep going off of sequence breaks, sometimes you'll be in a position where you just kind of forget what you've done, what you need to do still, just kind of trying to find that link to kind of restore the progress that you essentially skip with that sequence break. It's just really unfortunate that lamp was just so cruelly locked behind just so many barriers.
If I hit my sequence break and the next chest in Eastern is lamp, or the first chest in Eastern is lamp, and everything else is the same, I win that race.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's not even like whether I could do dark rooms or not. It's just I totally guessed wrong.
Mm-hmm. That's what sometimes Randomizer is. It's making right gambles versus wrong gambles, and unfortunately that was the case with you, that it was the wrong gambles this seed. We do wish you better luck in week 4 though.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely thank you for allowing us to be able to still broadcast this race by pushing the race back an hour. And
No problem.
you know, it was an interesting seed for me and Slim to do, but I think it's time for us to get on out of here. So with that being said, anything you want to add, Slim?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. Thank you for commentating the seed with me, Rick. I always have a joy commentating with you. Thank you to Cyclone, GU, our tracker for this race, for helping out. And of course, thank you to the entire Speed Gaming crew for helping us put on this tournament, giving us channels to broadcast these races. So definitely, if you want to see more of this tournament, make sure you follow all Speed Gaming channels, Speed Gaming 1 through 6, as well as the ALTTP Randomizer channels 1 through 4. Like I said before, we'll be having races non-stop for this next several weeks, even months at that point too, because once we get in the brackets, that's still another large chunk of races we have there too. And yeah, come and join us for some more Randomizer in the future.
Yep, so be sure to stay tuned for that next race coming up 8 a.m. in 6.5 hours from now over on Speed Gaming 2. So we'll see you then for more Link to the Past Randomizer. A couple of races going on right now as we speak as well, so have yourselves a good night.
Take care, everyone. See you guys next time.